Hello again, welcome to a new vlog. This was originally going to be one vlog in this location, and I put all the stuff away and put in the car and decided to drive just a little bit up the road before I went home, and the fog's come back in. It's really frosty still, and there's just some lovely silver birches, and so I rung home because I was supposed to be going out with my wife, but she's not feeling great, so I've got permission to stay out a little bit longer. So rather than make one long vlog, I thought I'd make two shorter ones. Hopefully you'll appreciate that. So I've come across this little scene, got some silver birches. I noticed this from the road, and this is a nice silver birch because it's a lovely shape. It's got some frost hanging off the bare branches, and then either side we've got silver birches. So there's three on the right here and one on the left, and then behind them there's some dark conifers which are really drawing the eye to the silver birches. So it's a really lovely portrait, and even just be setting the camera up here, the fog is coming and going, so it rolls in and they go a little bit blurry, and then it rolls back out and they sharpen up a little bit. So I want the near tree to be quite sharp. Looking about right now. Now the other thing I'm doing is putting the camera right up high, so I'm going to do that in a second. We'll get the camera as high as we can get it, because again I want to cut out the sky if I can and just shoot a 65-24 of these four birches with this lovely frost hanging in the leaves. I think there's going to be a load more here, so enjoy the episode. Okay, so once more we're going to go with a 65-24 crop. Got as high as I can, and the main interest is that frost hanging off the left hand side of this near silver birch. Zooming out to give myself a little bit of space when I print this. Okay, that looks good. Now I've gone for F11 because it's going to throw out the back silver birches, because they're not the important bit of the subject, they're just the background. And even though it's misty, I'm still going to throw them out of focus a little bit, because the main one is the near tree. I think that's going to look okay. I have toyed with the idea of using a 10-second timer, only because I wondered whether there was a chance of camera shake, but actually it's not windy at all today, and it's very stable, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Now that looks good actually. Just going to check the sharpness on the screen, and I can do that by just using my fingers to scroll around. That looks lovely, and then the mist in the background is throwing those other 3-4 out of focus. Beautiful. So that actually is pretty much a tree portrait. Wow. Just as I'm here, and as these conditions come along probably once a year, I'm just going to shoot one at f20, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use that first one. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to move into the forest. So what's interesting about today is that there's some bits that are frosty and some bits that are not, that are thawed, and that kind of contrast between white and other colours is going to be really interesting. And there's some stuff over here I can see just now, so there's a load of forest in here. I've got a bit more time now, so I'm going to spend an hour or so wandering about and see what I come up with. So I've come across this, which I really like, and there's a silver birch just the other side of this path, which looks lovely against all of the frost because it's colder in there. I've shot one from here, which is kind of like a 65-24 with this bank, but I don't know whether the bank is going to be compositionally is going to stop the eye. So I'm going to wander over there now. There's a path up here, and I'll see if I can't, because it's a lovely shape and some lovely light on it. I'm going to see if I can maybe make something of that from further in. Great stuff. So as you can see, it's not so easy to shoot this. I've had to get halfway down this bank try and get it in. I want to get both the branches that go out, and I want to get the frost in the background, which I need to get slightly lower, just about. Ooh, I see it. But what I don't want to do is fall over. Now the only thing I don't like about this particularly is that there is a fence which is concrete. If it was wooden it would be lovely, but fortunately it's a concrete post. But actually the light is so nice that I think that's going to work. There's a little bunch of pine trees on the left which have got no frost on them whatsoever, because they are completely, obviously a lot warmer. Focus on the trunk, but in the background we've got this hoarfrost, or this frost that's going out into the distance. So I'm looking at the contrast between the two things, the warmth and the cold, and the trees lit up with this beautiful sunlight. So okay, it's melting quite a lot. Now I'm going to move this way because this is where the frost is. So if I can get up here, let's do that next. Whoa. Days like today, it's very easy to just go, I've got some really good pictures, so I'll stop. But actually, you've got to make the most of the conditions, and the conditions like this won't come along very often. So I'm just going to keep shooting until I really do find out there's nothing left to shoot. So this is what I'm talking about, the different conditions. Look, we've got these, I don't know what they are, kind of baby conifers covered in frost, and then the bracken knot, and over here to the left knot, and a silver birch in the middle, which is the main subject, with some frost on its branches. So another brilliant picture. Now let me give credit to a guy called Stuart McLennan, and if you haven't seen his channel you really ought to. He lives in the Lake District, and I'll leave a link to Stuart's channel down below. But Stuart's photograph, probably the best picture I've ever seen for a long time, when we had some more hoarfrost, and his picture was all about the different colours. So I'm very aware of that, and I'm very much got Stuart on my mind when I'm doing that. So thanks, Stuart. Let's see if we can not do it justice if you get to see this. Right, let's have to work this composition and see what we get. So I've taken one with this conifer kind of in the foreground, it's a bit low, and now I've shot one. I've gone a bit closer just to get rid of it, because it may distract and stop the eye moving any further. You can't see these silver birches on the left now, but they are there with some nice light on them. The light's coming from behind me, which is perfect. Got this lovely frost here, and I'm just moving the camera so that we can see the silver birches. They're not quite so obvious now, but they're still there. Focusing on this main silver birch here. We're just going to move the focus in so I make sure I've got that nailed focusing wise. Yep, that's perfect. And then we've got hoarfrost, and then we've got frost across these small pines, conifers, and then the misty background. So F14, 13th of a second, 2-second timer. Looks good. I don't think I'm going to need to do anything else to that. I've just exposed to the right. I've moved my exposure as far right on the histogram as I dare. I'm just going to move back left though, because, whoops, without falling over, because those silver birches on the left here, I've got some lovely light on them, and I can get them in quite easily. Not so easy, this one. I don't know whether I'm starting to get a little bit kind of snow blind almost. I've been photographing these trees now, or trees in these conditions, for a long time. That's okay. So what I might do is process some of these and then go walk away and come back, because I think with a fresh eye it might look very different. So this is nice. I don't know whether you can see the old birch in the background there, but I've come across this little clump which I really like, and I want to sort a composition out where you can just see the old birch in the background. We've got lovely fog behind them, so everything's going to be thrown out of focus. And that, I'm just going to move slightly to the right now. With Woodland, actually with most photography, slight changes to the composition can make or break a shot. That's lovely. It looks like a rhino horn, doesn't it, or an elephant tusk. Beautiful the way it's curved like that. FL14, that looks great. Some nice light on it now as well. There's some lovely light along the side. I'm just going to go now through the viewfinder or on the back of the screen just to check all of the areas. The important places to look are the corners. They all look fine, and this is kind of framing something, but I wonder if I could just move it that way. There's another tree just in front of that silver birch that I like. That may actually not show up so well, but what's good about this composition is we get a little bit more separation from the tree on the left there. Okay, so I've moved slightly further to the left because I'm getting more of a separation between this broken bit, the tree there, but the silver birch that I really like in the background is kind of hidden behind another tree. But if I'm honest, that silver birch is not fantastic. It's nice, but it's not the best thing ever. So I'm actually going to lower the viewpoint a little bit so I can get more of this bracken in, and more of the fallen tree. Lots of things melting and dripping, so I suspect that my fun is going to be over for the day very shortly. Let me just check the exposure on that. I think this one's going to be a good one, so I want to make sure this is looking good. There's still a load of dynamic range in that. They're still going to be fine. I think I'm trying to make it more oh, here comes some light again through the side here. There's a lot, actually I've just noticed there's a lovely bank there. Where are we? There's a lovely bank of light which I can capture by moving slightly further to this side. Let's see if that works as a composition. I think it does. Right, let's move over even further left. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So we've got some light just over here on this background. On this, there's like a hump, which if I raise the camera up as high as it'll go, it'll be more obvious. So what I'm going to try and do now is get the stump here as the main area, but also have, just tip that down so I can see it easier, but also have the light streaming through from the right. Focus on that bit there, that's fine. F14's good, and that's going to blow out, but that's good, that's all fine. Looks really magical, doesn't it? It looks brilliant. And actually, this might actually suit a 6x4, you know. Looks a bit dark. Let's just open that up. No, histogram looks fine. I'm going to go a bit more to the light though, to the right of the histogram, so towards the highlights. Focus up on this main branch here. And this is, I'm quite enjoying this because I'm working through this composition, and as I'm shooting, I'm seeing more things which are interesting. And you feel like you've really earned it. Sometimes though, you just plonk it down and it's done. It's very obvious. Let's just change the crop to a 6x4 to see what that looks like. It might suit a 16:9, 4x3 I'm going, sorry. So a 4x3, yeah, so again, I don't really like that. It's funny how I don't really see in 4x3. Let's go 16:9. If I can get this to do it. There we go. That might be a little bit more. I mean, I can obviously do things with these anyway, but good. Excellent. Okay, I'm losing the frost now because I can feel it, I can see it melting, I can hear it melting. So I'm going to need to work quite quickly. Oh, there's a lovely little spider web here. I might just go and shoot that next. Right, so I'm going to shoot this with this spider web before it melts, which looks marvellous. Thanks ever so much for tuning in. Your support is greatly appreciated. I think I'm going to stop there because I'm losing it's starting to warm up and things are thawing out, so I think that's going to be it. But if I get any more images, I'll put them on the end of this vlog for you to have a look at, and I'll share the ones that I've shot already. I better go and get some processing done. It's going to take me a while, but I'm really going to enjoy it. It's been a marvellous day out, and conditions like this can really, they don't come around very often, so you have to make the most of them, and I feel that I have done again. So really pleased with this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm trying to get to 1,000, and like the video. All of that kind of helps. If you haven't seen the rest of the channel, then there is lots of videos there for you to enjoy. There's lots of lovely content about landscape photography. So thanks for watching this. See you next time, hopefully. Until then, take care. Goodbye.